suddenly you realize there it is before your eyes. The Midas touch is all you need to make your wildest dreams succeed. The good life, the good life. Everything you're striving for, a step away from heaven's door. Imagination holds the key to everything you want to be. The good life, the good life. It's the good life.
And that's just about it, but we will need some salt. The salt cellars.
I can't find the little spoons for the salt cellar.
Lady Dale Tryon and her manservant Derek are getting ready for a Saturday lunch party.
So we can just... Okay, not all that much.
Yes.
Okay.
Many courses today.
I think the surroundings, the environment is very important. I think that all contributes to whether the guests feel comfortable, relaxed. I like bits and pieces. I mean, for lunch, I do much sort of lighter than I would if it was a dinner party. I like white flowers. I like lots of flowers, and I think that if they're very colourful, they can detract a bit. So I love white lilies and quite smelly things, but neutral colours.
I can put the white lace things on top.
Oh, right.
Roy and Patricia Cox have invited 6 friends for dinner.
Roy likes to have everything just so on the table, on the chair.
What are you doing?
I'm making a lily out of a napkin, and then I'm going to put a little box of chocolates into the middle of it, which will then sit on the top of the plate.
Johnny Roxburgh is putting the finishing touches to a drinks party.
It's terribly important not only how it looks, but how it smells. Tonight we're using a scent which is only 6 days old, which it smells great, and most people won't have smelt it. You not only enjoy things with your eyes, you enjoy them with your senses. It's like eating and smelling, the whole thing wrapped up in one.
Charlotte Ducan is preparing for a dinner party based on the Italian film La Dolce Vita.
I like to have the idea that it's spontaneous, as though my guests have just come off the streets from some cafe, and they just turned up and thought, oh great, let's go round to Charlotte's, as they do in the Dolce Vita when they turn up at the Palazzo. It's the kind of atmosphere of kind of bored grandeur, of indolent, decadent living.
Cosa fai? Dove vai con quello? Stai attenta che rovesci tutto.
Having a few friends round for a drinks party or a dinner party is one of the great pleasures in life. But how do you make sure that your party is talked about long after the last glass of liqueur has been emptied? In tonight's programme, we meet a host of party givers who do things with care and flair, and for whom the souffle always rises. So accept our invitation to an evening of entertainment in 4 mouth-watering courses.
Yes, thank you.
When Lady Dale Tryon, known to her friends as Kanga, entertains in the dining room above her shop in Beecham Place, she doesn't do too much of the work herself. It's Derek who brings the food up to London from her Wiltshire estate.
Yes, it was the heaviest one.
And it's Tony Worrell Thompson in the nearby restaurant Ménage à Trois who prepares it.
What should we do? Should we start off with a sort of game salad, something like that to make it a little different?
I think if it's quite a light lunch,
Yeah.
not sort of too heavy, which you're so good at.
How important is the food?
I think it's most important. Well, there's 3 things I think that are really important. I think the location's very important, that it's relaxed and comfortable and looks pretty. I think the people are very, very important, and the food is equally important. I think that if you're going to invite someone, then you make sure that you give them, you know, the best food you can sort of put together.
Roy is renowned for his fruit salad, though, I hasten to add.
Very, very nice.
He usually gets a request for it, anyway.
Now we've got to see if the top fits. Yes, it does.
When you finish that, Roy, do you think you could give me a hand to peel these prawns?
Mm-hmm.
don't like peeling prawns.
What are you giving them tonight?
Mediterranean prawns and a few little prawns mixed around the outside. Fresh parsley. Then for a main course, we're doing a flambe, veal, and a selection of fresh vegetables. And Roy's wonderful fruit salad for dessert.
Is it important to you how it looks?
Oh yes, I think if you're going to serve food and it's not presented properly, it doesn't look very appetising. And you know, this is the fun part of it to me anyway. If food's presented nicely, they get a feel for it before they've actually eaten it. If you plonk something on a plate in front of people,
Can I get a few more?
Yep. They're going to not feel so inclined to eat it. No, that's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
We're always going to serve this from his seat, as opposed to having them individually set out.
Roy and Patricia know that planning ahead is the key to a successful evening. Just the advice they would get from that doyen of the dinner party, Fanny Craddock.
They all should be run like battles beforehand, so that you can sit back and enjoy your own parties. That I do say. However simple it is, do it all beforehand. And above everything, for pity's sake, if you're the cook, never try something out on guests that you haven't tried before.
I think if you plan things too much, it gets very dull, and I just get bored of it. So I think a week's enough. And I just ring people up and say, can you come?
Charlotte's a rebel when it comes to entertaining. She leaves things to the last minute, but a lot of imagination goes into her famous themed dinner parties.
I think just to go to a party is fine and dandy, but I think it's really nice to have a theme and to create a sort of theatrical space for people to have a nice time in. I mean, like this evening in the Dolce Vita, they can dress up and be, hi, I'm just walking down the Rome Strada, and I can be that kind of person instead of just being myself. To start with, we're going to have a selection of sort of mountain meats, like wild boar sausage and brasaola, which is a kind of dried beef, all from Italy. And this is a salad which is going to go with it, which is all kind of red Italian-based salads with a few flowers flung in for colour. And I'm going to have wood pigeon as well. I mean, I borrowed the candlesticks, and I thought it's got to be quite grand, so I wanted silver rather than brass. Because colour's really important. All the salads and all the fruits are all dark reds. And so, yes, you can't just have a brass candlestick when it doesn't look right.
Guests are going to come in through the gate over there.
Now, if you've a few thousand to spare, you could leave all the hard work to Johnny Roxburgh and his partner Rolene Williamson. They run the admirable Crichton, and their job is putting on parties. They'll do one literally anywhere.
You have this marvellous view of the house going up the avenue, and we're going to put flaming torches on both sides. We finished this. Can you tidy up all
When they moved into this room, it was empty. They set about creating the party mood with period furniture, balloons, flowers. They even brought along logs for the fire.
I think the way it looks, the decoration and the execution of the decoration, there's a very fine line between good and bad taste. There's a very fine line between something being looking stylish and stunning and looking cheap and gaudy. And that's a line that one has to walk very carefully. It also has to look fun.
Rolene, what are you giving them?
These are quail's eggs with 3 salts. Sea salt, celery salt, and a hickory smoked salt, which we have flown in from New York. And then they've got quite a lot of canapes tonight. They've got, I think 10 tonight. A selection of hot and cold canapes.
It's very theatrical. It's a real theatrical concept. You come to it as a director, a producer of a huge extravaganza.
That's what people are asking us to do, that they're asking us to produce a party. And very often they have no idea how you give a party. They don't know how to start. And so they come to us so that we can produce everything. So The hostess should only have to go to the hairdresser, buy a new dress, get up from bed 2 hours before the party, have a bath and come down and enjoy it.
This is my dress for this evening.
Lovely. Lovely. And where did you get that from?
A local shop in Buckhurst Hill where if you want something special, you can always find anything for any occasion.
And will your female guests be wearing equivalently glam dresses?
Well, I hope so. The men are wearing dinner suits and bow ties and...
Do you get jealous of each other's dresses?
Well, no, there is obviously a bit of rivalry, but in this area, if you've been to an occasion, you wouldn't want to wear the same dress to the next one because everybody's, she's got the same dress on as she had on last time.
Dressing for dinner, such a lovely thing. It got you in the mood for it. And I think if anybody says to me, the early 30s, I immediately have a picture of Berkeley Square and 3 or 4 young men in dinner jackets with white silk scarves and stopping at the corner where the Berkeley used to be and buying a gardenia from the flower seller on the corner. It was evocative. It set the tone.
Just doing the placements, the guest at lunch, I do sort of just a little round circle, just like the table, then just print out their names, and I have a tiny crib of this so that as they come in I can say, you're sitting there, and there, and there.
Who's going to sit where, or is it unimportant?
Well, we'll be sitting at both ends, so...
Yeah. So are we going to sit our couples opposite each other or next to each other, or... We've got 3 down the side, so they'll have to be opposite each other. Always seems to think that the music and the table and the drinks, so he usually sees to that side of things while I'm in the kitchen.
Roy, why is it so important to you?
Well, I think if people have a good time, it's like when you're out for a meal. If you have a good time when you're out and the meal's not quite brilliant, it doesn't really matter that much. You still have a nice night, and that's what entertaining, I think, is about. Just having a nice time.
And I don't do a kind of great big seating plan saying, so-and-so's got to sit next to so-and-so. Or, a girl's got to sit next to a boy. Because I think that's really dull. I mean, it doesn't really make any difference.
When the scent is sprayed, the table set, the flowers arranged, and the candles lit, and the guests are arriving in 20 minutes, then the moment of truth has arrived. Will the party be a success?
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
They're not for me, are they?
Now there's a touchy point of etiquette. Should the guests bring a gift for the hostess?
Never. I mean, think of it. What would they bring you? Flowers, wouldn't they? Now, what have you got to do? Either ignore them, just say, darling, how marvellous and silly things, and send them away. Have put in water in the kitchen. Or put them in water yourself, according to whether it's a formal or informal occasion. And you insult them if you don't do anything about it. Or else you keep them all waiting while you arrange their damn flowers.
Oh, I can book that.
Yeah, lovely,
Yeah,
thank
you
you,
don't
Roy.
mind, because I won't be with him. I can book
Right, the balls are still in there.
I can book that for you.
Is this your speciality, Roy?
I don't have a speciality, I just like doing it because I like drinking it myself. So,
What is it?
It's champagne with melon balls and a little drop of melon liqueur.
I'm going to check if
It's a good evening. Are you going to organise all you get out?
I think you share.
Who am I next to?
Okay, everybody, eat time. Mangiare.
The early stages of a dinner party can be an anxious time for the hostess. All that planning and preparation will go to waste if the guests don't enjoy themselves. The burden of being in charge can weigh heavily on delicate shoulders.
I enjoy that up to a certain point, although I'm always kind of like worried that everybody's not going to get on with each other and that they're arguing, or that the food isn't going to get cooked in time. So you have to concentrate. Because you're responsible for people's happiness, and if they're unhappy, then it's all your fault.
Well, that means they are fresh.
Malcolm? There,
Thank you,
please.
Derek. You're a pal.
Well, there's nothing more I can really do after the guests arrive, so then I hope I enjoy myself, you know, with them. And just keep an eye that things are running smoothly. I mean, I think it's quite important then not to be worried and looking over one's shoulder, and because if you're like that and unrelaxed, then I think that goes through to the guests.
Of course, Lady Dale Tryon would be the first to admit that it helps if you have a Derek to keep an eye on things.
Well, Derek's probably, perhaps my husband, the most important man in my life. Derek's been with us for about 14 years in Wiltshire. So if I am entertaining in London, I really don't like sort of new people around, and Derek knows how I like things done, and he knows most of our friends, so it's a very cosy relationship.
But tonight we're serving champagne with eau de vie de framboise, with fresh raspberries in the glass and creme de cassis, just enough to make it pale pink. It's the kind of party drink that gets people going, and it looks stylish.
If you've paid your money to Johnny Roxburgh, then all your little worries will be taken care of. All the host and hostess have to do is make sure that the guests enjoy themselves. Johnny will even lay on entertainment, if that's what you want.
Oh my God, what do I do now?
When I'm doing a party, I'm always a waiter, because that's the easiest way for me. I don't actually wait, but it's the easiest way for me to keep an eye discreetly on what's going on. And I can see if glasses are not being filled up or plates not clear.
Well, Roy and I are sitting at the end, so I think if, as Geoffrey's a bit late,
Yes,
he can
we'll go at the end.
All right, you and Michael sit here, Roy in the middle, and John and Jan. No, Jan and John. I'm so sorry.
You?
Yeah, you'll have to. Michael, you've got to go around that side.
Michael, you've got to come in.
Not a cluster of diamonds.
No, I don't want that one.
Which one?
No, I didn't want that one.